Hi everyone, it's Giselle with another message for today. And I would like to talk about the importance of letting others in to open your heart to then also help bring in your physical union with your beloved. And to me, this didn't really make sense in the past. And I'll explain a little bit more about my experience, and maybe this resonates with you. But I remember reading up on a lot of books and even self-help kind of dating guides, but even, um, you know, ritual books that would explain how you get that new love in your life. And this is before I even met my beloved on the physical, though he's always been part of my life ever since I can remember. And I now see that even, my childhood had clues of him all over it. But I remember in those books I read that it says that having a rich and beautiful life filled with friends will help you on the way to having new love, romantic love in your life. And it's not like I don't like to have friends, but I've always been someone who kind of thought, oh, because of my in quite eccentric tastes and interests into the um, you know, spiritual slash paranormal, supernatural, even sometimes, got funny tastes, not your everyday, I just like to shop and watch television and go to the pub. Not really that kind of girl. I always thought that it would take a special person to want to be my friend. Not that I'm not fun to be around, but it's just not many people are open to those kind of concepts. And so I struggled meeting loads of people. I've never been one for massive groups of friends. You know how sometimes people just have thousands and thousands of, well, not friends, acquaintances that they collect on Facebook. I'm not that person. I've always had a very close knit group, and I've always been one to be a one on one kind of person, not a group kind of person, if that makes sense. Um, so in my previous workplace, I had a really good friend, and she's also very much into, the spiritual aspect and psychic readings and things like that. We bonded over a lot of very um, esoteric concepts and things. Although we also had other things in common, we had this special kind of bond about just not your everyday subjects. And I thought, wow, she's one in, God knows, maybe a million. I'm probably not going to find other people who would be as interested in that kind of thing as I am. So I went into this new workplace and I did ask the universe for new friends because I felt this had no hidden motive. It's not like, oh, I want to have the love of my life, so I must make more friends. This was just like, I want my life to be enriched with people who are on my level and who I can give love to and who can give love back to me, but not really expecting very much. I just said, universe, do what you can. I don't know how you're going to do it. It's not for me to know, but I want some friends, please. And so I probably told you the story of these two women have been in the workplace, ever since. I mean, they started before me, so they've been there longer than I have, but I I knew them, but I haven't really taken out the time because there's hardly any time to get to know anybody in that place. It's always so busy that you're always stuck doing work and you can't have a chat with anyone. And so I went on the sick because I was in a really bad situation in work, being bullied by one of the managers, well, my manager at the time. She was truly just not nice to me, but that's under the bridge. I don't care about that anymore. But anyway, that situation led me to having to sit with other people. And so I chose these two people because I felt I always felt some sort of unexplainable closeness to them, though I never really fully had the opportunity to get to know them properly. But I thought, you know what better time to get to know somebody than now when I can actually talk and have time with them. So I got my chair and parked myself right in between them. And I went, right, let's do this. So I didn't have to introduce myself. I knew who I was, but I kind of introduced me, the concept of me, and not hiding who I was. And so I remember saying, not starting the conversation with this line, but somewhere down, like within the first 10 minutes of me talking with them, I remember saying something silly. And this is a bit my humor. I'm an Aries, so I'm very in your face at times when I want to be. And silly and playful, that's just my personality. And I remember saying something along the lines of, I see dead people. And I thought, you know what? If they don't get me and they don't get my humor and the way that I am as a person, at least this is a quick way of filtering through people, isn't it? Because they're probably going to go, what a nutter or a weirdo. I don't want anything to do with her. She sees dead people? What? But they actually took that as not as a joke. They weren't laughing, but they got very fascinated. And so when I was telling them the story about how when I was 3 or 4 years old, people who'd passed would approach me and ask me to give messages to their family members, and I could see them as if they were just like us, There was no difference to how they looked. To me, they were just people. I didn't know that they'd passed until someone made it clear to me. But until that, I thought that they were just people. Although one really freaky experience was when one stepped out of a picture frame, and then I knew, okay, well, this isn't normal. It didn't freak me out, but I was like, yeah, well, I get why people are saying that this isn't, standard, normal, something that normally happens. But that kind of pushed them to then email me and say, we think you're a very interesting person and we would love to get to know you outside of work. Do you fancy going for a tea or coffee? And I thought, oh, that's really nice. Not that I thought I'd shot myself in the foot and scared them away, but I thought if anything is going to speed up a friendship, it would be an outrageous thing like that. It will filter through, so either you're going to like me or you're not. And it actually worked. And I thought, yes, let's meet up. I like you as well, And through these friends, I've become a lot more open. I actually, in the past, would have been quite reserved with telling people how much I truly like them, appreciate them, and that I actually have love for them in my heart. These are not things that I would have said because, I don't know, this isn't just not something you ordinarily say. People, I find, are quite reserved and quite, stiff upper lip kind of attitude where opening up in that way, they'd be like, yikes, what a nutter. But again, now I feel so confident and open because of these new friends that I've made that I can just say anything, be myself, and not care about what anyone thinks, really. And it warms my heart that I get reciprocated messages and, responses from them, even face to face. I'm not even saying these things to get a response. I'm not saying you are one of my closest friends at this point and I'm so grateful that I've got you in my life. I'm not expecting them to say anything. I just want them to know that. That's my only reason for telling them. It's not that I want them to say that back, oh yes, and you in turn are also one of my closest friends. I don't care. I like that they said it back to me, but I didn't do it because of that, you see. I just said it because I wanted to say it, because I feel life is precious, life is, goes by so quick, and if I don't tell somebody how I truly feel about them, I might regret it, and I don't want to regret anything, so I just tell everything and anything to anyone I feel needs to know it. And it's worked. It's opened up my heart and their hearts. And I feel like I'm activating people and they're activating me. And it's making everything so magical. Actually, it also works the other way around. I told you the story before I went on Christmas break that I had to face that bully manager, and through having a meeting with her manager said, you know what, you're not going to leave here for the Christmas break until you tell this woman exactly what you told me. And so I had to tell her face to face exactly how she made me feel. I did it in a respectful way. Of course, I wasn't going to be nasty, but I had to do truthfully, just tell her everything. I said, the way that you've spoken to me is very hurtful and very belittling. Whether you mean to do it or not, come across as very condescending and very negative. And she just was red in the face and stood there with, practically fighting back the tears. But I had to do it because this is me. And you have to be authentic. You have to be yourself. You have to not care what others think. And I feel that really has served me. And so I do it with everyone and everything, whether it's good or bad. I have to. But I just love that when I open up my heart and I tell people how much I love them and appreciate them, I don't even do it for that reason, for them to give it back to me, but they give it right back, and it makes me feel so free and happy and just like, oh my God, I can say anything, and even if you didn't tell me that you love me back, I don't care, but I appreciate it, and I'm so happy that you feel that way and that you can express yourself and don't feel like you have to hold yourself back. So I just wanted to share this with you so that it could maybe help you, or if you're already going through this, I'm hoping it resonates. But really, when I was reading those books and thinking, you need to make more friends, I was like, firstly, a little bit discouraged, or turn my nose up, like, oh God, do I really have to? I already have friends. But now I'm thinking, no, I want genuine friends. I don't want to collect friends for the sake of having a million friends. But, I'm not going to be restricted in the way that I was. I'm going to be free, open, and grateful for anything that comes my way, because it's all a blessing and a gift from the universe. And I didn't think I could make more friends, especially at the stage in my life that I was at. But I did, and I'm grateful. And the love that they've shown me has been immense, and I'm so, so happy. And I wish this for you too. So I thought I'd share, because I thought, it's quite an important message. So if you'd like to connect with me, then all my details are in the description. I'm still doing a January sale for which you can get up to 33% off my services. And I'm doing a special bundle for those of you who have voted and requested. You can get a reading, healing, and meditation for 20% off. So please, if you feel drawn to do so, then do book with me. My ETAs are a lot shorter now since I have managed to catch up on 99% of my readings. So thank you all so very much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Namaste.